Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Remember the mama cat that brought her kittens to our yard this summer? That's her, and that little white tuft next to her is one of her babies that we kept. Willow is the baby's name. Holly is the mama's name. We have another brown tabby kitten around here somewhere. She's kind of wild, so she does her own thing. So now we have 3 house cats. Isn't that wild? They've been really fun. They've been awesome. I haven't put up my Christmas tree yet because I'm a little nervous. Other than that, everything's great. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about weather. We are in West Central Minnesota, so it gets cold here. We don't have a whole lot of snow right now. Some of it melted because we did have a few warm days the last week or so. But we are in the middle of a cold snap. And I kind of wanted to share with you how we deal with that and what that looks like, complications that arise. I just got done dealing with some complications and we still have some extra things to take care of yet. So right now it is -6 degrees outside. It's sunny, so that helps. The wind is blowing about 15-20 miles per hour. Thankfully, the direction it's blowing is helpful to the animals right now. But there's not even considered a wind chill right now because the wind chill can get brutal. But the real field temperature outside is -26 degrees Fahrenheit. That's actually not that bad. We can get much worse. Occasionally having temperatures that dip below 0 in the evenings is very manageable for our animals. They're very hardy. But when we have several days where it's going to be -0 and the real feel is going to drop into the -20s, -30s, it can get brutal. This is our first year having goats. They were born last spring, so they're not that mature yet either. My horse and my pony always handle winter very well. There's rare occasions that I have to blanket my horse. But it's been a couple years since I've had to do that, and they handle it great. Chickens are in the coop in the Quonset. It's insulated but not heated. Chickens are extremely cold hardy. They handle the cold better than they do the heat. So for them, the biggest issue is the eggs freezing and cracking and making sure we have water. So the other animal we have to worry about is our barn kitty, Kimball. There's only one barn kitty left. We lost our beautiful gem this summer. So we have the one outdoor cat. I was nervous about her being alone this winter, not having body heat to snuggle up to. She has this big dog kennel that's covered in blankets and comforters and dog beds, and it's about as insulated as we can get. We worried about using any sort of plug-in heating source for her because we don't want a fire. She does have a heated water bowl out there. The horses have a heated stock tank along with the goats because they're pastured together. The chicken water is also heated. However, when it gets down to about 5 degrees in the coop, it freezes. It can't go much colder than that. I think when I checked the coop temp today, it was about 4 degrees out there. Which is significantly warmer than the outside temperature, so that's nice. And I don't see any signs of new frostbite accumulating on the chickens. Sometimes their combs or their beards can get a little bit of a frostbite on the end of them. So chickens are good. Their chicken water was frozen, so I just have to give them a couple buckets of water throughout the day that they can drink. Thankfully, they don't drink overnight. They just sleep, so I don't have to worry about that. The horses and goats have plenty of water access. The goats and horses have a walk-in into the Quonset, which is a fairly big space. That's where their water is, that's where their hay is. And we also have a big calf hut in there for the goats to go into for like an extra source of heat. And I threw a bunch of extra hay in there today. However, when I went out to check on the animals this afternoon, I had some issues. And this is where it gets complicated and stressful to have animals in this cold climate. So the chicken's water was froze. Again, that's an easy fix, not a big deal. We'll get that figured out. We'll just get through the next few days here and then it'll start warming up again. Horses were great. They weren't shivering or anything. That's the sign I look out for to know if I need to blanket my horse. And he was great. The pony, he always does great. His coat is so long and fluffy. He's always very, very well insulated, and he's very fat, so that helps too. Our big, fat, loud goat, Lyle, he was great. He wasn't cold. That was a relief. I was nervous. But Maynard, our other goat, he was shivering pretty bad, and I was worried about that. And with tonight's temperatures, actual temperature dropping to negative 15 degrees, I know that's going to take the real field temp down to the negative 30s easy. So I was nervous about him. So for him, I fed him a bunch of grain. I put a bunch of extra hay in the calf hut, made sure that the vent on top was closed, and I lured them in there with more grain, which after eating lunch, Maynard seemed to stop shivering as much. Made sure they saw that they had extra bedding in their calf hut. And I will be running into town this afternoon and either buying a very large dog blanket or a calf blanket that's a little insulated that will help keep Maynard warm. I'll probably grab one for Lyle too. But the other problem with goats is Maynard is the one that does not like to be touched. So that will be a rodeo to get it on, and I'm sure he's not going to enjoy it on. So that whole process will kind of be an experiment, hoping for the best. There's not much else I can do. I'm not bringing the goats into the garage. We do have a heated garage, but we have a lot of belongings in our garage, and it would just not be safe for them to be in the garage, even if we took the vehicles out. There's just too much for them to get into, and there's no way for us to goat-proof the garage. So it's going to have to be what it's going to be, and hopefully they can withstand it and come out okay. I'm nervous, and it stresses me out because I know they're probably not very happy. The other issue that I found this afternoon is Kimball was pretty cold, our kitty. So I decided to bring in a large dog kennel, extra dog kennel that we have, just like a crate, and set that up in our garage, which is fine. Litter box, food, water for a couple days. She'll be perfectly fine in there for a couple days until it's warmed up and I feel comfortable putting her back out. She's not the friendliest cat, so it takes a little talking to her and treats to get her to let me pet her. And she definitely does not like to be picked up. So I had to carry her, a very stressed out cat, all the way from the Quonset to the garage, which was not an easy feat, but we did it. It was fine. My vet tech history helped with that for restraint for sure. She's not super thrilled. But while I was being friendly with her and trying to get her to trust me out in the Quonset, I noticed she was trying to pee multiple times, and I don't know if that was an anxious tick of hers. But my concern is that she either has a UTI or some crystals in her urine, or she's just so dehydrated from not wanting to travel outside of her kennel to her heated water bowl that she's having troubles. But I called the vet because I always like a second opinion, and we'll see if I have to bring her in later. I'll give you guys an update later this evening as to where everything is, but that's where we're at right now. So, hey guys, it's later in the evening. My husband just headed out to the Quonset. I'm going to be right behind him. We have chicken feed to unload. He picked it up from the feed store today. So we have to haul that into our chest freezer in the Quonset where we keep our grain. The chickens need more sand in their sand pit and their coop. We'll have to collect more eggs. We'll have to get them fresh water and figure out that situation. The water that I took out today is still frozen, even though it's sitting on our heated floor garage. So we'll just have to get him a fresh bucket of water. I'll have to grab the hose too because he forgot that, and the horses need water. Horses and goats need water, and we'll have to throw more hay, and I'm going to start getting dressed. You'll see all the attire that it takes to get 30, 45-minute chores done in Minnesota when it's, I think it's about -8, -9 degrees Fahrenheit right now. That's not what the real feel is. It's in the, probably by now it's probably -30 real feel out there. So pants on. If I had to be out for any longer, I would have more layers on, but I have thick socks on, pants, thick snow pants. I've lost a ton of weight recently. So like even my sweatshirts, everything I have is so big on me. As well as my winter gear. We have to grain everybody. We have to make sure everybody has hay. The cat we don't have to worry about because she's in the garage here right now. And then I have thick winter boots, waterproof winter boots that my feet will still get cold in, but I should still be able to feel my toes with these socks in a half hour's time. It takes more time to get dressed to go out to do chores when it's this cold than we actually spend out doing chores. And then the biggest task that I have to do today is, I'll show you, I have goat blankets that I bought. They're actually calf blankets, but they'll fit the goats pretty well, I think. Actually, before I get my coat on, I'll show you them. I just bought them today. I ran into town and got a couple. Aren't they just the most darling things ever? It's so cute. Now they're very similar to horse blankets, so I'm not worried about putting them on because I got another one. I blanket horses, or used to blanket horses all the time. And Marley, my Arab, has his blanket, which is the exact same thing, just bigger. So I'm gonna go put this on my horse, wrangle the goats and wrestle them and put those on them, and hopefully they don't destroy them overnight. Marley keeps his blanket in pretty good condition. And I will leave their blankets on since it's gonna be negative degrees for quite a while. I'll leave all this on until we're in the positives again, above 0. Cold weather isn't a big deal for a short amount of time, but when you get to the point where they're already cold, they don't have a lot of energy to keep up with everything. So I'll put these on them and then I'll just leave them on until probably all day tomorrow, all night tomorrow, and then I'll probably take them off early Friday morning. It's Wednesday now. So they'll have them on for like a day and a half. Again, hopefully the goats don't destroy them or Lyle chew Maynard's off. We'll just have to cross our fingers for that. They weren't cheap, but they also weren't the most expensive things ever. So if they wreck them, I'm not going to be sad. At least I put the effort in. But I just want everybody to be as comfortable as possible, including myself. So I'm going to get my coat on. And then we will head out and do all these chores. I gotta grab the hose unless he's coming back for it. I just heard him pull back up, so he might be coming back for the hose, but wish us luck. Not looking forward to it. Got the hose. Yeah. Good, because my arms are full. Alright, let's go. Good job, handsome boy. Good job, handsome boy. Lyle's already eating his and Maynard's. Hey, don't eat it. It's gonna keep you warm. Don't eat it. It's gonna keep you warm. Maynard wasn't a fan. Hey, stop. We'll see how long these last, huh, dude? You're so cute. Hey guys, I'm out here in the garage with Miss Kimball Kitty. Thankfully she's eating some wet food. She's still not very happy that I have her out here in the garage, and she's not out in the Quonset where she would rather be, but I have the ability to bring her somewhere warmer where I know she's not too cold, so I'm going to do that. I have hay all over my hat. We just got back in from doing all of the chores. We got the goats' blankets on. We got Marley's blanket on. Marley I wasn't worried about. He's always good, even though it's been a couple of years since he's had to wear a blanket. So that all went well. Chickens are still happy as can be. Goats are still doing all right. Pony's still doing fine. So nothing dramatic happened this time when I went out, thankfully. Lyle is already chewing on his blanket and Maynard's blanket, so I'm really worried about that. But we did the best we could do, and if they wreck their blankets, we at least tried, right? There's nothing else we could do. So everybody has extra hay. We grain them extra. I was realizing a couple things as I was walking out and as we were walking back in that I didn't mention that people who don't live in this cold climate don't understand. When I was saying how my husband forgot to grab the hose, it's because when it's this cold, we have to keep the hose in the garage so it doesn't freeze. Things that you don't think about until you live it. And we were filling the water trough, and we were done with the water trough, so we shut the hose off and we just let it sitting there while we did something for like maybe 5 minutes. And by the time Chris, my husband, grabbed the hose again, the nozzle was already frozen. That's just wild how quick that happens when it's this cold out. And then I collected eggs earlier today, and I got 9, and I think they're all viable. I didn't see any cracked, but I guarantee you they were about frozen, if not completely frozen. So putting them in the fridge, hopefully they thaw slowly and they don't crack. Just check them later on and make sure that they didn't. But as we're walking in, I had collected 3 more eggs this evening. One was already cracked, so that just went out. That was just tossed. And as we're walking up to the garage, we heard a snap from the egg basket, and one of the other eggs from just walking to the house from the Quonset, it cracked because it was frozen. It's just wild. She's very happy. She finished her meal. Hi, Kimball Kitty. We've been wondering if there's been another cat out in the Quonset, not ours. We think there's a big male tabby out there. We've kind of seen glimpses, and we thought maybe it was Kimball, but maybe it was another cat. And there was times where we thought we saw 2 different cats at once. So Kimball's been in the garage. So when we went out to do chores today, we saw the cat again. So we're like, okay, there's definitely another cat out here. So my husband, the sweetheart that he is, I don't have all these animals because he doesn't like animals. He likes them. He wants to make sure they're taken care of, and obviously I like them, so that's important to him too. But bless his heart, he was like, we got to make sure this cat has food and water too. So he still put food out even though we don't have our cat out there, and he still filled the water up. So that was really sweet. But so hopefully that stray kitty will have some comfort. Now we're determined that Kimball's mad at us because she's not out with her boyfriend. And I'm sure the boyfriend's not very happy either. I'm sure the boyfriend's very concerned. I wish I could let him know that she's okay. I'm hoping that getting her hydrated, getting her warm will be enough to help her body fight off whatever she's got going on. And if by Friday morning she's not 100%, then I'll take her into the vet and we'll do a cystocentesis, which is drawing urine from the belly, to determine if she's got an infection or not, and then we can treat her accordingly. So, yes, I'm hoping you're fine, sweet girl. You are just so gorgeous. She's gotten very chubby this fall, which is great, but it's just still not enough. You need a little extra. All right, guys, that's all I got
for this end of evening cold snap. Tomorrow I will update again as to where everything is at, how the goat's blanket survived the evening, and just kind of things we continually need to keep up on. I mean, when it's this cold out, I'm going out a couple times a day, along with our morning and evening chores, just to check up on everybody and make sure there's no interventions that we have to make at any moment. So it's a lot of crossing your fingers, waiting and seeing, making small interventions where you can, but also trusting that these animals are well built for this life, just kind of like how we are. We learn to adapt. But winter is nice to take it slow and hunker down. Are you going to use the litter box right in front of me? I hope it's successful. Don't worry, if you go potty, I won't show that to the YouTube. There was hints of red as she was urinating, which could mean blood in the urine, which could mean an infection. But it also could just be the way I was looking at it in the light. But she only went once. So that's also a good sign. Oh, good girl. All right, fingers crossed for us, guys. I'll touch base in the morning. It is 7:10 a.m. and it's actually much darker than my phone makes it look, but that is a very pretty early sunrise. Let's go check on the animals and see how they weathered through the night. It is about -12 degrees right now. That is actual temp and real field temp, so it's not that bad, which is nice. There's no wind. My phone will probably die here shortly because it's so cold, but let's check them out. So, goat's coats. They are all intact, I think. The goats were not wearing them when I went out there this morning. They were just laying on the ground, completely intact, which is okay. I'd rather that than them wreck them. I'm thinking they just recently got them off because one of them was still tented, like a goat had crawled out of it, because this part, where the head goes through, is fairly wide for a goat, and there's not a whole lot that I can do about that. These are made for calves, and they just have different body shapes. So that part was a little big. So I was assuming if they were to get out of them, when they go down on their front elbows, I thought it would catch on the bottom part of the chest thing, and they would just be able to step out of them. That's what I assumed would happen if they could get out of them. They fit them fairly well otherwise. I couldn't have went any smaller because they're so round and long. So they fit them pretty good otherwise. But as you know, next winter, if they ever need them, they'll be bigger because they're still only 8 months old. So the bigger the better. The goats weren't shivering, so that's important too. Like I said, it was like -12 out this morning. They weren't even in their calf hut. They were under the hay rack, which is fine. But they have, the ability to go in there, and I just hope that throughout the day here and throughout tonight, they'll be okay. We'll check on them multiple times. If I see anybody shivering, I will go back out and put a coat on. Probably only the one that's shivering, just because I don't think Lyle really, while he was one that was easier to put the coat on, I don't think he was necessarily to the point of absolutely needing it. when we did put them on. I just thought it would be nice to offer that to him. So just keep checking. Chicken water froze again, which is fine. My husband will bring out another round of that this morning before he leaves. Marley, nice and toasty warm in his coat. He's great. His coat's in immaculate condition. It always is. Everybody else is doing fine. Everything else is fine. Kimball's doing a little bit better this morning. She's used her litter box quite a bit. She's eaten plenty. She's back to purring and letting me pet her, so she's not mad at me anymore. I'll keep an eye on her. If I have to bring her in, I will check her in the morning, tomorrow morning, and if she's, if I'm still worried about her, I'll take her in tomorrow. So that's all I got for you right now. Stay warm. Hey guys, it is like 2 days later. It's Saturday morning. It's about 7:45 in the morning, so the sun isn't up yet, because that's another lovely thing about living where it's cold, is we are in the season of sunrises not happening till 8 o'clock or so, and our sun sets before 5, well before 5. So the sun's only up for business hours in the winter, which is unfortunate. But as you can see, I'm not putting snow pants on, which means we are finally out of our cold snap. I think right now our temp is 17 degrees above zero. But with the wind chill, that puts us at like, I think 3 degrees above freezing. But that's not bad. So I am going out to do morning chores quick, feed hay, check waters, all that jazz. And then I'm gonna take Marley's blanket off too, because today it's supposed to get upwards of like 20 some degrees. And tomorrow it will actually get above freezing at like 32, 33 degrees. So I don't want him to wear his coat, his blanket, when it's gonna be that temperature, because then he either might start sweating or he will start losing his actual fur. Oh, that wind is winter fur, so we don't want that to happen. So looks like it's gonna be kind of a dreary day, but usually in the winter when it's super sunny out, that means it's gonna be really cold. So sometimes these like dreary, foggy days are nice, because you know it's not gonna be so brutal. All right, my phone's probably gonna die, so I'm gonna go do chores quick, and hopefully by this afternoon, actually we have to leave around like 10:30. Hopefully by then I will let Kimball out of the garage and she will be warm enough. I thought about doing it this morning, but she's also been in a 45-degree garage, so I don't want her to get like shocked because she's been in a warmer. Hi boys! Hi boys! See how Marley keeps his coat on? You guys should try that. Hi boys! No shivering. That's great. Hi. Hi. Oh, are we friends now? Oh, are we friends now? Oh, I'm so glad. Hi, Lyle. Hi, buddy. You want your blanket off? I can come get your blankie off, okay? All right, let's do that. Are you mad at me? Are you mad at me for taking your coat off? I know it's a little chilly right now, but you'll adjust. You'll adjust. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, ladies. Let's see what the temperature is in here. Nice. Nice and warm. Got plenty of water. It's not frozen. Plenty of food. my husband made. It's a 5-gallon bucket with these drilled into them. Hello. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this vlog up. I know it's probably getting pretty long. Thanks for joining us on our cold snap here in Minnesota. We have, like I said, a couple warm days this weekend, so we'll probably get some stuff done, like getting a new bale in while the tractor can start, because, you know, sometimes vehicles don't start when it's cold outside. So, other things to think about. But hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. I hope it also made you appreciate if you live in a warm climate. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Bye.